Esports gets a boost from the digital kitchen. I'm Tonya Hall, and joining me is Chris Brandt, Chief Marketing Officer for Chipotle Mexican Grill. Welcome back, Chris.
Hi, Tanya. Thanks for having me.
Of course, you've been a leader in the retail food service business for some time. Have you ever seen a year like 2020?
No, I never even imagined a year like 2020 where they would, close down in restaurant dining. I don't think anyone could have ever foreseen something like that. And, hopefully we don't have to endure this again once we get over the hump here with COVID for sure.
Yeah, I don't think anyone saw this coming. But you've marketed Chipotle in a variety of ways that have engaged audiences and reached out to people in a variety of ways, including esports. What motivated Chipotle to get involved in esports?
Well, one is our consumer. A lot of our consumers, about half of them are Gen Z or millennial. So we constantly are, looking at what those people are engaging in, and our goal is to just really be relevant in culture. And certainly a big part of culture with those age groups is gaming. And I've grown up, kind of with video games, and what really spawned our latest entry for Chipotle into e-gaming was when I started in 2018. I saw how Fortnite was just sweeping the nation, and I saw my own boys playing it, and I thought, man, I think Fortnite is lowering the GPA of every kid in America. And from a marketing standpoint, I'm like, hey, how do we become involved in that? And so a friend of mine actually was a consultant, and he was working with a gaming group called Team Solo Mid, TSM. They were putting together a Fortnite house. And one of the big things for us when whatever we do, whether it's influencers in esports or regular sports or, anything, is they have to be legitimate Chipotle fans. We want them already to have a love for the brand. And the good news is all of those guys in the TSM house were huge Chipotle fans, eating it 2 or 3 times a week. And that the TSM house also had 3 of the top 15 Fortnite influencers at the time. And so, like most things we do at Chipotle, we start small, and then we'll pour the gas to what works, and we'll pivot away from what doesn't. And boy, esports has really worked for us. We got with Myth. Myth was the #2 streamer at the time. He was a huge Chipotle fan, great partner of the brand. And then so we started with those guys. We added a group called 100 Thieves, this year. And we've actually host our own competition called the Chipotle Challenger Series, where we let real gamers play with some legendary gamers and famous streamers, but also some celebrities. And so we've had a number of those, and those keep growing all the time. We really want to be in esports kind of in a granular way. We call it an endemic way, really be part of the community, because it's a really cool community in esports. It's a little bit different than kind of, commercial sports like football, basketball, baseball, but we want to be in it the right way. We just don't want to be a big sponsor that comes in and spends a bunch of money and then walks away. We want to understand what gamers need, what gamers want. We want to be in it in a really genuine and authentic way. And we're here for the long term. And so it's really fun because there's so many gamers who are passionate Chipotle people. And, it was a great match with all of our growing delivery and digital capabilities to be in esports as well. So it worked on just so many different levels, and it was, a personal thing that I like to do too. So I thought it was pretty fun.
Talk about your partnership with Deserto.
Yeah. So, another influencer that we have, and, just kind of the same way. I mean, that we do all of those things is we find people who are really genuine with Chipotle. And if they want to be a part of the stuff we're doing, it's great. And so, that's how we get started with them, or the guys at Myth, or the guys at 100 Thieves. And, what we find is they're really producing great content that gamers understand. And that can be, whatever platform we're on, whether it's esports or whether it's Snapchat or whether it's, TikTok or whatever, we want to have creative that looks right in that space. And I think that's really important. And so I remember when the TSM guys did their inaugural video, I thought it was going to be like a 30-second or 1-minute video announcing the partnership. They came back with a 10-minute video. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, I mean, this is way too long. I thought we were going to do like 30 seconds. And they're like, trust us. They'll like this. And I think I probably forced them to cut it down to 8.5 or 9 minutes, but it was one of their most popular videos that they had, period. And the completion rates were fantastic. So they really knew their community. And so you've got to let those folks in the community, whether it's TikTok or Snapchat or esports, you've got to let them run, and you've got to let them understand what their viewers will like or won't like. And that trust is a big part.
You mentioned, the Challenger series and maybe even playing with a celebrity. How does that work exactly?
Yeah, so basically we have qualifier rounds, and then we have a big tournament. And the first ones were Call of Duty. This latest one we just completed in October was Fortnite. And so basically people can get into the qualifiers and try to earn their right in. And then there were some really major Fortnite players. There's a cash prize at the end. There's also free burritos for a year, which I think is actually a bigger deal for people than the cash prize. But then people go on. And the cool thing about the latest one we did on Fortnite is everybody was in the same room. Everything was happening all at one time. So it turned out to be really great. So look for the next Chipotle Challenger series, probably either later this year or into next year. One of the things, we started out this last year at DreamHacks. So we were just doing it at these huge conventions where everybody was. Back late last year, we said, hey, how do we expand it to more people? And how do we just make it all digital? Well, that was fortuitous when obviously all those events were canceled. So, our team, Scott Robinson, has done just a fabulous job of elevating our esports and making the Chipotle Challenger Series something really cool.
What have you learned about the new normal that will move Chipotle into the post-pandemic world?
Yeah, I mean, I think the digital piece is super, super important. And you've got to figure out, I don't think that the digital changes that people are making, the more people ordering delivery, the more people doing order ahead, I don't think they're going to go back. And so if you're viewing COVID-19 as we got to get over the hump and this is temporary, I don't think that it is. I mean, one of the biggest tensions we always talked about, even in years prior to COVID, was how do we get people out of the house? Because from a consumer, everything's in your home, right? There's all the gaming mechanisms, all of the streaming that you can do. How do you get them out of the house? And I think people are ready to get out of the house now. But I think that this whole digitization of your life, I mean, you think about how much you access via your phone, even more than you did before, or your computer. I mean, look, we never would have done an interview like this, probably before, right? Certainly not the way we're doing them now. We never would have had 7 hours of conference calls on Zoom or WebEx or whatever. But I think that's gotten us over the hump. So I don't see us just snapping back to what normal was. And who knew the good old days would be like February of 2020, right? But I don't see us snapping back there. I think this is going to be a much longer thing. And so if you're in the restaurant space or whatever you're in, the digital shouldn't be seen as a temporary change. It should be seen as a permanent change that you need to adapt to.
Chris Brandt, Chief Marketing Officer for Chipotle Mexican Grill. Thanks again, Chris, for joining us, and congratulations on your success with esports and just continuing to be authentic and reaching out to your customers and fans. If somebody wants to connect with you, maybe they want to find out more about the esports connection or any of the other things that you guys have going on, how can they do that?
Yeah, I would check us out on Chipotle.com. I'd also check us out on Twitch. We have a growing following on Twitch as well. But if you're in social media, check Chipotle out on TikTok, on Snapchat, on Instagram. We're all over the place. We're really proud that we're the first and I think still the only restaurant that has 1 million followers on TikTok. So, check us out there for sure.
And I would say check out their Chipotle goods too. They have a great line of products that help out farmers. Thanks again, Chris, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks a lot, Tonya. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And find more of my interviews right here or at tonyahall.net. Thanks for watching.